What is going on, everyone? This is Eric coming at you from just outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and today we're going to be looking at the Chris Simon trade, which occurred back on November 2nd, 1996. Now, this is a continuation of the Eric Lindros trade, which will be linked in the description below. And this trade saw the Washington Capitals acquire two players, including the aforementioned Chris Simon, from the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for three assets. Without further ado, let's start by discussing the Capitals. So the first player that they got was left wing Chris Simon. And Simon, he fit the role of an enforcer in Washington for 6.5 years. Over 320 games played, Simon provided 72 goals to go with 79 assists. But he did add an impressive 665 penalty minutes. So he clearly was good at causing problems. Now, 19 of his goals that he scored for Washington were on the power play. So he did have a power play role. He was traded away, though, after these 6.5 years, and he ends up getting traded, along with another asset, to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for two more assets. The first of which was a 2003 third-round pick. This would be the 83rd overall pick. With that, they would select right wing Steven Werner, and Werner, he spent 3 years in the AHL before walking as a free agent. They also got center Michael Nylander. Now, Nylander, he would appear in 74 games over parts of 2 years for the team, adding 17 goals to go with a somewhat impressive 41 assists. Now, he ends up getting traded to Boston in exchange for two draft picks. The first one that we're going to look at was a 2005 fourth-round pick, which would be the 118th selection. With that, Washington would select defenseman Patrick McNeil. And McNeil, he spent 6 years in the AHL before leaving the team. Now, it might sound like he was a bust, but he had a successful stint in the AHL there, helping the team win 2 Calder Cups. He did record 152 points over that time. Now, they also got a 2006 second-round pick from Boston. This would become the 35th overall selection. With that, they would select wing Francois Bouchard. And Bouchard, he spent parts of 5 years in the AHL before being traded away. Now, he is traded to the New York Rangers in exchange for a defenseman, Tomas Konratic, and Konratic, he appeared in 30 games over 2 years, only amassing 7 points with minimal defensive stats before he would walk as a free agent. So that's what they got for Simon. How about the other player that Washington got in this deal? So they also got defenseman Curtis Leschyshyn. And Leschyshyn, he recorded 2 penalty minutes over 2 games before he was traded. Now, he got traded to the Hartford Whalers in exchange for center Andrei Nikolushin. And Nikolushin, over 5.5 years in Washington, he provided 58 goals with 113 assists. Now, he put together some solid minutes on the penalty kill as well. He was a solid defensive player. Now, he ends up getting traded to Chicago. We will get to that shortly. We actually already had it written out, so that works out perfectly for us. Now, next we have the Colorado Avalanche from the original Chris Simon trade. Now, Colorado, they got 3 assets. The first one we're going to look at is right wing Keith Jones. Now, Keith Jones, he would play 102 games over parts of 3 years for the team. In that time, he would record 28 goals with 29 assists and 147 penalty minutes before he was traded to the Philadelphia Flyers in exchange for left wing Shajan Podin. And Podin, for the team, he would play in 239 games over 4 years. He did have 34 goals and 37 assists with 160 penalty minutes. So clearly, these guys that are getting traded around are good enforcers. Now, he also ends up getting traded, but it should be noted that he was a one-time King Clancy Memorial Trophy winner. But he was traded to the St. Louis Blues in exchange for right wing Mike Keane. And Keane would play in 87 games over parts of 2 years for the team, recording 7 goals with 10 assists before walking as a free agent. Now, they also got 2 more draft picks from Washington. The first one we'll look at is a 1998 first-round pick. This would be the 20th overall selection. With that, they would select right wing Scott Parker. And Parker, because of the time, was an enforcer. Now, he played in 202 games over 4 years for the team, and he had 4 goals with 10 assists. Notably, though, he did have 462 penalty minutes. Now, Scott Parker would also end up getting traded. He would be traded to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for a 2003 fifth-round pick This would become the 163rd overall selection. With that, they would select center Brad Richardson, and Richardson played in 136 games over 3 years, scoring 19 goals and adding 21 assists before being traded to the LA Kings in exchange for a 2008 second-round pick. This would be the 61st overall selection and was used to select goaltender Peter Delmas. And Delmas, he was unable to agree on terms of a contract and he did not sign with the team. Now, lastly, Colorado got one more pick in the original trade. This was a 1998 fourth rounder. This would be the 106th overall pick. With that, they would select right wing Chris Bark. And Bark, he really did not get signed by the team, just like Delmas, and he would walk as a free agent. Now we have the secondary teams. The first one we're going to look at is the Chicago Blackhawks. Now they got left wing Chris Simon. And Simon, he had 12 goals with 6 assists and 125 PIM across 61 games before he would walk as a free agent. They also got center Andrei Nikolushin. And Nikolushin, he was a little more productive. He had 6 goals and 15 assists in a single season while continuing to play a key role on the penalty kill before he was traded away, but we will not be discussing that trade. Next, we have the Boston Bruins, who got center Michael Nylander. And Nylander, he had a goal with 11 assists over 15 games before he walked as a free agent. Then we have the New York Rangers, who got wing Francois Bouchard. And Bouchard, he would walk after a half season in the AHL. Next, we have the Hartford Whalers. I had to just, I've been waiting for the Hartford Whalers to come up. When I saw the Whalers were involved in this trade, I was so excited. So they got defenseman Curtis Leschyshyn, and Leschyshyn appeared in 255 games for the franchise across 3.5 years. He had 8 goals with 32 assists. Now, he would end up getting picked and taken away from the franchise in the 2000 NHL expansion draft. Still, though, not a bad pickup. Then we have the Philadelphia Flyers, who got right wing Keith Jones. And Jones, in parts of 3 years, he scored 27 goals with 47 assists. He also had 164 PIM before he would retire. And then we have the St. Louis Blues, who got left wing Shajan Podine, and Podine played in 91 games over a year and a half for the team, pocketing 6 goals and adding 10 assists before walking as a free agent. Then we have the San Jose Sharks, who got right wing Scott Parker, and this is a fun one. So he would appear in 71 games over parts of 3 years. He didn't add much offensively, only 5 points with 2 goals, but he had 161 penalty minutes. Now, he had a couple of incidences that we want to discuss. So one saw him deal with a back concussion after taking a puck to the face. This is why his playtime was severely limited. He ended up missing just like a year. I'm pretty sure it was over a year. Now, he had another incident against the Nashville Predators where, after a fight, he threw a fit in the penalty box. Like, he was slamming his stick into the box and everything like that, and he ends up getting removed from the game. While on his way from the penalty box to, the locker room, he ends up jumping into the Predators bench to the best of his ability over the, plexiglass partisan. And he was trying to fight another player. He got some punches in, the Predators player got some punches in, and he was suspended only 2 games for this, surprisingly. Now, he would end up getting traded away shortly after that. We will not be discussing that. Lastly, we have the LA Kings, who got center Brad Richardson. And Richardson, he had 24 goals with 41 assists over 5 years before walking as a free agent. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, this was the Chris Simon trade. I do apologize for mispronouncing a couple of names here and there. Andreas Nikolushin, for example. But this was the Chris Simon trade. This was, of course, a continuation of the Eric Lindros trade. The trade that keeps on giving. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Have a good rest of your day.